Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Well, good evening, Steelers Nation, and welcome to another episode of The Realm. Tonight, I am joined by JT, mobile by phone. This man's on the road traveling this week. JT, what are you doing?
Wait, hold on. I froze there.
And that is the producer, my friends, in the back.
Sorry.
Having technical difficulties after this evening.
Don't worry. It's working now. I don't know why it froze on me there, but we're having a good night,
working?
aren't we?
It's working, but it's froze, but yet we don't see JT. Did you lose him?
No. He's back.
Oh, you found him.
Yeah.
JT. Uh-oh. He's here today, gone tomorrow.
Sorry, it's froze.
Oh, my God, dude. What?
Hold on one sec.
How about you just go get a beer, dude, and we'll take it from here, all right? What's going on, Steeler Nation? TA, how are you, dude?
Hey,
Thanks for bringing me on the show, man.
I'm doing all right, JT. I'm glad to see your smiling face tonight, brother.
Well, sorry about that technical difficulty, folks. But you know how it is. That's the way it is when it's live podcasting. But anyhow,
there's
man.
No 10-second buffers here, is there?
No, there's no hit that skip it ahead button. Yeah, no. We used to have that at the radio station, but that's why we didn't take call-ins to begin with. But anyhow, it's neither here nor there. But yeah, man. So, hey, welcome to another week of being held hostage by the Steelers, or Aaron Rodgers, I should say. So how's everybody facing in their another week of being hijacked and held hostage? Hijacker.
I don't know if we're being held hostage, JT. It sounds to me like the boys are down there in Florida, at the NFL meetings, and DK Metcalf and maybe our quarterback to be is out in California throwing the pigskin around.
Yeah, I heard that. Campus of UCLA. Wasn't that the word? Him and DK getting some work in prior to whatever he may decide.
But the way the Steelers organization made it sound like they were surprised that it was even happening.
No clue.
No. I'm like, what is going on, man? I mean, do we know what's going on or do we not know what's going on?
I don't know. This is the craziest thing. It really is. I mean, the NFL was like, you're seeing comments by different former players. It's just not a good look. And they're trying to present it as if like they're in total control of it. We've got this in mind for this and this and this. But yet, now today it's like, rumor has it that he wants to play for the Vikings still rather than Pittsburgh. We're like, come on already. I know 90% of the fans out there, just based on what I see, are just tired of this. But yet, TA, we're not going to wait too long.
Well, look, I don't know what too long means in the Steelers book. I mean, if that means we're going to take this right up to draft day and we're going to make our decision there. But in all honesty, JT, I think we've already waited too long.
Kind of think so too. And so let me throw this one by you. Do you think that it would have been wiser to do something sooner?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'd still really like to know what the real meaning is behind losing Justin Fields. I mean, you gotta at least think that the Steelers made him at least an offer prior to the Jets making the offer. So whatever we did, if it wasn't more than what the Jets gave him, then shame on us for lowballing the kid.
Yeah, I think they made him an okay offer. I know the guarantee money was pretty good up there. But I think what it boils down to, and I may be off base here too, but well, you are having technical problems there, buddy.
Yeah, sorry. How's it going?
Better now. Okay. Anyhow, where was I?
You're talking about the offer to Justin.
Yeah. So, but I think what he was really looking forward to, and shame on Pittsburgh for making him feel this way. I mean, he handled the benching pretty good, the quarterback competition, Russ being named as a starter from the word. I mean, he was a super trooper the whole way through that. And I think the Jets offered him starting quarterback. Said, no, you're going to be our starter. And I think that's really what he wanted there. But
Yeah.
he's going to find out that if he doesn't do well up there, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be a lot worse than sitting second string on the Steelers sideline every week.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that I don't think that Justin's really prepared for is the New York media and how it will basically eat that team alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Heavily scrutinized there.
But hey.
But yeah, wish him well, dude. Wish him well.
Absolutely. We're not here to talk quarterbacks. We can't do nothing about that. Instead, we're going to talk another football. JT, are you ready for this?
As long as it's black and gold.
It is black and gold. How did you know that, JT? Clear across the pond in a land far, far, far away, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the German soccer club, the Borussia Dortmund, announced a partnership Thursday that binds the two prominent black and gold wearing football teams together. Can you believe that? It's like having a brother from another mother.
With the same color.
With the same color.
A brother from another mother with the same color.
Absolutely. Now, I don't know what this means by any stretch of the imagination, but they got a long history just like we do.
Well, that's like a sign of this, continuing to go international here, partnering with, international clubs and, the Ireland thing. So, yeah, man, it's just the NFL's way of, and everybody kind of reaching out across the pond, like you said. It's a pretty cool thing.
It is, and here you got the NFL. They are very passionate about making this basically a global thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if 20 years from now we're watching games all over the world. And Lord have mercy on those players, because I don't know how they're going to do it to be able to, let's say, leave here, play in Pittsburgh, and then a game in Germany, and then maybe a game in Dublin, to a game in India, to a game in Mexico, to a game in Seattle, to the game back in Pittsburgh. How's that going to look? Can you imagine that 20 years from now?
You know what? I can see thoughts of that. I mean, maybe you're not talking like every weekend, every week. Like, you're talking about games spread out through the weeks and timing for flights and things like that, where, I mean, they could make this, 8-month season out of it. You go international and do an international league. I mean, they can do some stuff like that. I mean, I think the more weeks the NFL is broadcasting football, the more money for everybody. So,
well, it's more money for somebody. The only thing is I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you get going down into Mexico and, some of these other countries, that you might not be able to afford to go to an NFL football game, because I live here in the United States and it's getting pretty expensive anymore
Oh,
to go to a
yeah.
football game, JT.
If you can find tickets.
Right. If you can find tickets and you're not spending an arm and a leg for it. But let's face it, man, to go to a football game, it's almost like going on a small family vacation for 3
Yeah.
hours
Yeah, really
for
is.
what it costs.
Yeah, every time we go, we make an adventure out of it, Nikki and I. Yeah. Hotel room and dinners and drinks and tailgating, post game. Oh, yeah. It's an adventure. It's not just a game, it's an adventure.
It is an adventure. It is an adventure. But it'll be kind of interesting to see how that goes ahead and develops. But I guess on the front tonight, JT, I think we need to break down our roster a little bit. And I want to just start on the defensive side of the ball. I want to kind of get a feel where we're going to be at in a month here and what we need to draft, because we've picked up some players, and we can start that right there on the defensive side of the ball. We went ahead and we picked up Easy Atamamua. Now, I'm pretty sure that the Steelers just love to hear me chop up these names. So I think that that's part of Omar Khan's attraction to these guys. Is like, hey, you know what? TA is going to butcher up the names. Let's find the worst, hardest names to pronounce first and foremost.
Well, the good thing is we'll have several months to perfect those names and pronunciations. Before we dive I forgot to tell you guys this before we got started, but I did hear from Randy Fuller again today. His card site is now up, and make sure to share that with the producer so we can post that link. But yeah, he now has both signed and unsigned player cards. Randy Fuller launched its own site, Shopify and stuff too. So look for that. I'm sure he'll be happy to sign and put a special message on a card for you, being a special fan and friend of the podcast here too. So just wanted to throw that out there. And then also coming up this weekend, guys, is that the big gala for my friend Denzel, all going out to a good cause, where Rocky Blyer is going to be the guest speaker there. Still some seats left. So if you know anybody that can make it to the gala, they're only $50 a head. Great dinner. Lots of great things going on at the event. Fundraiser too for a brighter tomorrow for underprivileged kids, and hopefully some of these kids from the Congo can make it worthwhile, get an education, or maybe even get to come to the States. So cool stuff. Anyhow, thanks for bidding me a moment there to get those couple plugs in. But yeah, man, let's dive into the defense. Now, this guy came from New England.
No, he's not the gentleman who came from New England. He's the gentleman who came from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was drafted by the Vikings in 2022. Now, the gentleman you're talking about is another one with a great name that I'm going to love to butcher up, and that is Daniel Ikuali. Again.
Ikuali.
Now, he's got a little bit more experience, but again, these guys are just practice squad players, maybe camp fillers. So when I look at the list, I mean, we'll just start from the top and work our way down. We got two defensive ends. We got DeMarvin Leal, and we've got, of course, Easy Otomowawowa. Now, between those two guys, we have no idea about Otomowawowa. And quite honestly, Leal, in my humble opinion, going into his fourth season, needs to show us something.
Yeah, it's time. Yeah.
I mean, because he should have already developed by now. Now, Canal Benton, if that guy continues to stay on the path he's on, we're going to have some great things from him. But then that just leaves us with Martavius Adams, which I'm not sure he makes a team this year. Not sure he makes a team. And then throw in a a Demick Davis, he's another camp body. We talked about Daniel. Of course, Cam, 14 seasons in the NFL. Here's one, Logan Lee. Really didn't get to see much from him last year.
No,
Except there
towards the end of the year. Right.
Towards the end of the year. So, I mean, there's still some promise there. Go ahead and throw in Isaiah Loudermilk, who signed a contract this year.
That's
and to
right.
be honest with you,
again.
I didn't expect him back, JT.
No, but I wasn't surprised. That's a typical Steelers signing there. Yeah.
It is, but again, it just seems to me that he's really going to have to dig deep in camp this year. But then we have Dean Lowry, who he was the pickup from was it Green Bay last year that we got Lowry from? And he didn't do too bad, but he didn't do that great either. And he's in his 9th year. And Jacob Slade. Now, all I'm trying to get at is when I went ahead
digging down deep into that pocket there, into that pile.
And that's what I'm saying. When you look at the names that I just went ahead and listed out there, and again, nothing against Cam, but Cam is on the closed window of his career.
Right.
There are no names that jump off this paper except for 2 guys that we're hoping turns out to be something into Marvin Leal and Canal Benton.
Right.
And if it's me, JT, I really think this year we have to go first round and pick up one of these defensive guys.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that's the number one. That's their first pick.
And I'm hoping, just from my humble opinion, from what I've seen, that we either get Kenneth Grant coming out of Michigan or picking up Derek Harmon out of Oregon. Now, I know you're not one for watching between the numbers, JT, but both of those guys are quite intriguing. Kenneth Grant, just to give you this, can you imagine when was the last time you seen a 6'4", 331-pound man on our defensive line?
No, usually they're shorter and stockier than that.
Yeah, I mean, and don't weigh as much. So I like the fact that this boy is, man, there's a lot to move there.
Little man child.
Little man child. And then Derek Harmon, he's 6'5", 310 pounds. So between both of those guys, you can't ask, where's the beef? Because those boys are packing the beef.
And still, that's not even really oversized there. I mean, that's 6'5". That's who did I say? We were talking about this last week. There was a guy they were talking about that he was over 6'3". I don't recall, but he was over 400 pounds too.
400 pounds,
and he ran like a 5.78 40 or something like that. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I don't. But that's a big boy moving very fast.
I know. I think I remember highlights of watching him run somebody down who broke loose too. Crazy stuff. But anyhow, I digress. Well, I'll figure out who that is. I'll share it with you too. But yeah, big guy. Over 400 pounds.
Yeah, that I don't know. The only other one, I'm gonna have to look at that. I'm gonna have to go back. I gotta take a look at that, JT.
Okay.
And we might get back with you on it. But,
okay.
But that goes to our defensive line. Now, if I go to linebackers, I really want you to take a sit down here, JT, because these names are just going to pop right off the page, and you're going to get so excited knowing that we got these guys ready to lead us for the future. Are you ready?
Do it. Let's go.
All right, man.
Do we need music? Maybe the producer.
No music. No
music.
sense in lulling us to sleep.
Okay.
We're going to go, first of all, Devin Harper, Malik Harrison, Now, of course, we know we just picked him up from the Dirty Birds. He was a Buckeye. He played 5 years in the season, but again, hasn't really done nothing to distinguish himself. Nick Herbig. Now, look, can't nobody here say that he did not show a lot of promise last year, but he did seem to fall off in his rookie year. Hoping that we do not have a sophomore slump, because here's a guy who just can't stay healthy, Alex Highsmith. And I mean, he just signed that big contract, and having somebody like Nick come in last year was really, really helpful.
Yeah, refreshing.
Refreshing. There you go, like a tall drink of water.
There he is.
And then you go ahead and you throw in a Jeremiah Moon, which, of course, was on the team last year as well. Another one from the Dirty Birds. Didn't really hear that much from him last year. And then, of course, we already know about TJ Watt. And then here was the Julius Westhoff. Wasn't that kid wasn't that the kid that was a German last year that was able to stick on our team for the international player? I thought that's who that is. And he never played linebacker, so he's still kind of he's a test project. But then we got to go to the inside. Look, we already seen what Peyton Wilson can do. And as long as that kid stays healthy, I think that he's got a potential to be one of the greats. Thomas Rush, though, man, nobody knows him. Mark Robinson. Look, if this kid doesn't shine this year, he's not going to be on the team.
No, because remember when Bill Hillgrove was on, he was all hyped on with that guy in his rookie year, and just we were like, where is he? Where is he? We keep hoping to see him. Where is he? And we don't. So I don't know. Yeah, I'd really like to see him step up this year.
And then, of course, Patrick Queen.
And Peyton Wilson too. I don't want to go breeze past that, but I thought, he showed a lot of promise. He was that speedy cover linebacker guy that we've been looking for. I think he got out of position quite a bit last year, and I don't know if that was by design or just because. I'm not sure, but yeah, it could there's certainly room for improvement there. But he's shown plenty of signs that he could do the job.
And you're right. For rookie, though, I thought he had a pretty solid season. And that might also be why, too, JT, we've got a new inside linebackers coach, too, this year.
There you go.
So there's more to come in that. And then here's a guy. He's on everybody's radar. Are you ready? Iku Leota.
Okay.
And that says it all right there, folks.
There's a bleep on my radar.
Right. But I think the one that's going to be interesting this year is, does Cole Holcomb come back?
I posed that question last week too. Do we see him? I don't know. There's been very little ado about him, one way or the other.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I guess at the end of the day, we probably need to take another edge guy, but I can't see us taking an edge guy in the first, second, or even a third round for that. I think we're almost having to wait. Are you ready? I'm going to throw it out there, JT, because he's just got a good name that I know I can pronounce. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Alufa Wafamia Olaldia Hoihoa out of UCLA, buddy. Does that not sound like a Pittsburgh Steeler to you?
Oh, yeah. It was just lining up the Samoans right across the board there.
And this kid is thick and muscular. Long arms. Man, very aggressive downhill. He just very well could be that 4th or 5th round pick.
So, I mean, biggest challenge last year had to be as the defense got beat up, this philosophy of don't turn the ball over, let the defense win the games, or keep your ass out of the hot water type of philosophy. Play in your fears, not in your. I don't know, but like the middle of the field, the running game, we were just like the last part of the year. We just got crushed. We got run up and down. We need to plug that, and we lost Roberts this year. I mean, how do we bolster that middle? Does it start at the line? Do we find that nose guard?
JT, I honestly feel it starts at the middle. It starts in the trenches. It's the first line of defense.
Yeah.
It's what allows a Patrick Queen to be able to roam sideline to sideline because he knows nothing's getting past that first level.
Right. And you got blockers being taken up, double teaming your guys, and freeing those guys to roam. That was the whole premise of the 3-4.
You got it. Is the defensive linemen are unselfish heroes who basically take up the double teams to allow that second wave of that defense to go ahead and dictate the tempo of the game.
And last year, it did not.
Well, for being overpriced, it hasn't in the last couple of years. And
No.
if truth be told, it has not since we lost Shazier. It still seems like we cannot get past Shazier.
Yeah.
We've been trying for years now, and almost a decade now. If you think about it, it's hard to believe it's almost a decade, JT.
Wow, it is. And we thought we had that in Devin Bush until he blew out his knee.
And then he never came back the same.
Never was the same.
No. And I mean, even Holcomb. I mean, when we brought in Holcomb and Roberts. I mean, those two for patching it up. They were probably formidable. And then what did we do?
Yeah,
we lost Holcomb. So now here we are. Last year was Queen's first year. Some may call it a bust. I don't know if I necessarily call it a bust, but I think there's definitely more there that we can get out of him. And I think that both you and I were on the same page. I'm pretty sure he played hurt last year.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he took one for a team and was out there as best he could be.
And he did his thing. So
I think TJ was playing hurt the last part of the season too.
Yeah, because the last 5 games, I mean, he wasn't even trying for the defensive player of the year.
No.
Either that or something happened in that locker room in that 5-game stretch. And that might be why Russ isn't here anymore.
It's hard to say, man. We might never know the answer to that. Even Ben Roethlisberger might not even know that.
Right.
But, yeah, there was certainly something rotten going on there. It wasn't helpful. And I have a theory on that based on some discussion, and I think it started at the Cincinnati game, the big win, when we thought, all right, we finally found an offense. We're clicking on all cylinders. And then what do? The next time we play them? The total opposite. I think there were things quelled on that offense, and I think Russ didn't like it. And I think it caused problems, even Pickens, the whole 9 yards, the whole offensive thing got thrown out of whack.
Yeah,
it just seems like there was something like that I don't know. You just didn't see the level of play that we expected, really. One of those seasons. It's tough being a Steeler fan, man. You guys will attest that.
Absolutely.
Going through the highs and lows. We have high expectations all the time. Some fans will call us like, oh, you guys are spoiled and everything. No, we just have high expectations. We're always looking for ways and thinking of ways to improve the team and giving our thoughts on it, whether they're critical or whether they're praise. So can't help it. But you see those comments all the time.
Well, and let's face it, it's been quite some time since we've been to the dance.
It really has, and seen some playoff success. So I think I'm going to make a bold statement here, TA. We'll have another bridge quarterback this year before the season starts, or when the season starts, at some point in time, whether it be Mason or whoever else, depending. But I'm thinking that 2026 is going to be the year that we go after a quarterback. And I don't think Tomlin's going to stick around to try to train a new quarterback.
Well,
I think this is Tomlin's last year.
You figure he's done playing in his fears?
I guess so. I don't know if he moves on somewhere else or, I don't care. Everybody says, well, he'll be working for somebody else before the ink is dry. So what? I think his time is due here. The fans have known it, and probably by the end of this year, Tomlin's going to realize it too. So, but anyhow, we still have a year of football to play before all that happens. So, I guess we can't hold our breath that long, TA.
We cannot hold him that long. But what we can do is we can discuss our defensive backfield, because that seems to be another spot we cannot get hammered out, JT. I think we've done a good job with bringing in Joey Porter Jr., but in all reality, and I'm just going to run down through these names again because they're not household names. I mean, I can go ahead and we can go ahead and throw in there Beanie Bishop. I think everybody agrees that Beanie Bishop did a great job as a rookie. Looking forward to seeing what he can do. But
yeah.
Brandon Eccles, James Pierre. I think everybody's done with the James Pierre
Eccles
project.
wasn't Eccles. They just brought Eccles in from the Eagles.
Yep, they just brought him in. But even then, I'm still not excited. James Pierre, Darius Slay. We've already talked about this. This just has Pat Pete written all over it. You know what I mean? Or Pete Pat. It's just, if he's going to come in as a coach, hey, great. We get a couple good games out of him. Wonderful. Because I don't know if I can rely on a guy like Joshua Bledsoe, Deshaun Jamison. How about Cameron McCutcheon, Kyler McMichael, Corey Trice? We still don't know what this cat's going to do.
Now there's a name that we've been pulling for. TA was your guy, like highlighted him. That was his rookie year, huh?
Absolutely.
So this is year 3 for him too, right?
Right.
So was it rookie year was his injury?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, okay.
And
last year he got
he played
not much playing time, really.
No, I mean he's a hell of a specimen at 6'3".
Yeah,
I mean, damn, he looks the part out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see what attracted us to him. He's got the physical attributes. It's just, will the kid do it? That's the number one question. And then here you go. We'll just throw this up with a Ryan Watts. Now, again, all these players, and Ryan Watts was a rookie last year, and he never even really hit the field.
Not much, no. Right.
No. So now, that just takes care of the corners. Now, our safeties have been a little bit better. Deshaun Elliott, pretty solid year last year. Minka, nobody's really sure what's going on there, but the one thing I do know is that nothing really gets past him too much. Miles Killebrew, secondary, hands down, good to go. And then we picked up Juan Thornhill from the Browns. So our safeties kind of look like we're okay in that aspect. The biggest question, of course, again, is just going to be on the edge and in the slot. And we're not going to be able to spend a first-round draft pick on one of those guys. So we're looking at having to go, maybe third, fourth round. You're almost.
Well, isn't that when you typically find those guys anyhow, TA? I mean, like running backs, third, fourth round.
Well,
maybe even later rounds.
You kind of hope to if you can.
Yeah.
I mean, like one kid that might still be around is that kid from LSU who was Zy Alexander. I mean, pretty good cornerback. I mean, he was sound. He was also zone. So he wouldn't – he would be able to – he's at 6'2", 194 pounds. So, I mean, he's got that height that we like to see. And we got another one from Ohio State that we could possibly get in the later rounds at 6'1", Denzel Burke. Let's face it, those Ohio State receivers, he covered them, so not too bad. So there are a couple of guys late round, but again, we're back to messing with the Corey Traces of the world, the developmental.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess where I'm getting at, JT, just summing this thing up, we got a lot of holes on this overpriced defense, and we can't fill them all in the first round. And we're not going to be able to finish them in the second round unless we get rid of probably either one or the other of our two, how do I want to say this? Our highest currency on this team.
Let's call them our two gold bars, TA.
Our two gold bars, unless we get rid of one of our two gold bars in either TJ Watt and or George Pickens.
All right.
But those are the only two that are going to pull any kind of trade value for this team. And that's the other sad part about it is we only have two gold bars, JT. Two.
Yeah. Maybe half of another one.
A half another one in Minka?
In Minka, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's serviceable definitely to somebody. There's no doubt about it. But, man, I mean, when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're only talking 2.5 gold bars on a team that we feel should be 5 stars?
Based on the money spent? Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of scary when you put it that way, TA.
It is. So I guess, that's just talking defense. We ain't even got to the offense. So we're going to leave that for next week because that's just as intriguing, just as exciting and uplifting, kind of like a church revival.
Yeah, especially when you start at the very number one position on the offense too.
Right, because we could be looking at Grandpa Rogers.
Yeah, and Uncle Uncle Mason and Grandpa Rogers.
That's it. It's just some good old boys.
Oh, somebody sent me that clip. Did you guys see that clip, that meme of him in Mr. Rogers?
Oh,
the sweater and stuff. Oh,
yes.
My God, it's funny.
Yes.
So good.
It's
a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Such a beautiful day.
Oh, my God. Well, who knows? Maybe he will be our neighbor.
Well, yeah, I mean, all signs are pointing that way. I just wish if it was, let's just hurry up and get it in here.
Really, let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
I mean, especially how do you think this turns out? Let's just say Rodgers doesn't come here. Now what? Do the fans go ahead and turn on DK Metcalf? What'd you do, DK? Did you not run the routes right? Did you drop the balls? Were
you pissed them off.
Right.
DK, it's all your fault.
It's all DK's fault. Can you see this going this way, JT? That this is now DK's fault if he doesn't come.
Oh, there'd be repercussions. So, like, what happened? What did you find out? Like, when did you see the signs that he wasn't coming? Oh, yeah, I could totally see it. It's funny.
Yeah, oh, man. It's just, and I guess I'm just tired of being tabloid news.
Yeah, I know. And you know what? A lot of people are spiteful, and they're like, just go with Mason. Like, blow it up. Just blow it up. Go with Mason. What the hell? And Kyle Allen. Go into this season, Mason Rudolph and Kyle Allen. You know what, dude? We'll still win 8 games.
Oh, probably. Absolutely.
We'll still win 8 games.
Absolutely.
Well, if we can do it with Duck and Mason, we can do it with Mason and Kyle Allen.
Yeah. Well,
George, get open. Just give me 2.7 seconds, guys.
That's all we need. And, well, we'll talk offense next week. JT, you got anything else you want to talk about?
There was a couple things. Well, I guess we could touch on it, kind of sign it off. The tush push isn't going anywhere.
Oh, the tush push is sticking around.
Tush push is still legit play. I guess they tried to go after the safety angle on that and just didn't really hold a lot of water on that. Why didn't you just go with the competitive angle, just like they do, like when there's a field goal or a kick attempt, you can't get up on somebody else. Hell, we got flagged for who was it? Minka just put his hand on, like he touched somebody as he was going up for it, and they called that for using another player for leverage or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
how is that not the same thing?
And he barely touched that guy. Yeah, it's not like he came barreling in behind him and knocked him in the ass and drove him into the kicker. He barely touched him.
No, he just found a gap and went through it like everybody else would do. I'm coming through, man. So, but yeah, okay. So that one's we'll see how that develops. Who knows? Maybe that'll become part of training camp this year. Everybody learns how to do the tush push. We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
I think a lot of people's going to have to, because right now I think that's the biggest problem. You can't take it away, because right now it shows ingenuity, first of all, from the Philadelphia Eagles to be able to put it in play and master it. Absolutely right. And number two, okay, you only have 17 games, or okay, in this case, we'll say 21 games to look at it as Tomlin would say, the totality of the body of work.
That's a good word. Yeah.
To see how many people did get injured. And would they use it maybe once, twice, 3 times, maybe in one game? You know what I'm saying? So what are we looking at there? Maybe a total of 60 plays, just give or take a play or two. And if you only had one person get hurt, that's like 1%. That's not enough to go ahead and ban it.
Yeah, no, that's not really something that you could focus on, the injury side of anything. You just call it like unfair competition or whatever. But, what are we going to see next year, dude? The defensive tush push. Are we going to get what do they call it, a scrum? Let's just call it a scrum. Fuck it.
Well, let's face it. That's really what it is, isn't it?
It really is. It's a synchronized scrum.
It is. And let's face it, if the defense was smart, they would go ahead. Somebody would design a big package and bring in a couple of big defensive linemen right behind the defensive linemen that are up there and push them forward.
Yeah. Let's call them defensive backs.
Right.
Oh, my.
Well, what else came out of the
Well, you know what? This was something we talked about towards the end of the year, and I know Wes and I, the Kitch, we had these discussions too about the yard to gain and, marking the ball. And we're like, how can there was an argument where, why can't we use the technology to show whether the yard to gain, the line to gain was achieved, the football actually made it over? Just like they have all these cameras and angles right on the end zone, why can't you use technology to there's 100 people. Well, why can't you still have something in each nose of the ball that's going to indicate exactly the progress that was made on that? And it looks like they're going to implement something like that. I don't have all the details on it, but it looks like that is something like the sticks may be going away.
Well,
I mean, they're going to keep them for backup purposes, but if you know what I mean, to rely on that, that's not going to be your official.
Well, it sounds to me like they got a hold of Google and they figured out how to use Google Maps, and they're just going to GPS the ball.
Well, I think there's probably a little more tech to that rather than GPS. But you remember when they tried that at hockey, TA? They had that little trailer on the puck.
Yeah, which made the game so hard to watch because all you seen was this puck go sing.
Yeah, it was even more frustrating than not seeing where the puck went. Because at least they get to follow the players, but then this like black line, yow, yow,
right,
zipping all over the place. Yeah, it was like it's like having a sparkler at night. Somebody going Z Z Z Z Z. You can still see the Z, but like see nothing else. So, but who knows? So hopefully this technology works good. And when it's a first down, it gets called as such. And when it's not, it gets called as such. I mean, who can argue with 100% accuracy on that, if that's the case?
Oh, I totally agree with you, buddy. Totally agree with you. And I think it'll only make the game that much better.
And I believe there was one more. There was some other things that were kicked around too, but I think there was one more change to, wasn't it the overtimes? Correct me if I'm wrong or go astray on this. In the overtimes, that they wanted to change the rules so that they made sure, absolutely sure, that each team had a chance to score, unless, and I think this was, I'm paraphrasing here, unless if you got the ball at the beginning of the overtime period, which is 10 minutes, and you obtained the ball the entire 10 minutes and scored, then the other team does not have a chance to get the ball back and score. That's the only way that one team can only have the ball and still win the game. Make sense?
Yes. But it's yes. And it's still going to remain 10 minutes long.
Yes, as far as that goes.
Yes.
Yeah. And they also played around with the kicking game too, the fair catch. I think they're moving that up to the 35 from the
35-yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually did pick something up this week, I guess.
Well, going to the overtime, I think the overtime, having both teams possess the ball, is actually the right thing to do. And, not just score and win, or, you get a field goal, the other team's got to go ahead and score a touchdown to win. But my point is each team at least gets that opportunity to go ahead and score. I personally would rather see the college play come into play. You start at the 20-yard line, you got to score a touchdown. Other guy lines up 20-yard line, score a touchdown.
Right.
The guy who doesn't score, game over.
Or if they both do, then they go from what, to 15?
Correct.
They start getting inching closer. How about this? This isn't while we're doing that, how about just like first game to make it 11? First team to get 11 points wins.
Now we're going to play like a little horse out there on the field?
Yeah. Why not?
I got an H. You got to know. Oh.
Of course, that'll make the game 6 hours long, so.
Yeah, they can't do that. They can't do that. But they did also expand the replay assist too. So
that's right. Yeah, there was some new rules that they can challenge. Is that right?
They can actually go to replay review for it. So hits on a defensive player, grabbing the face mask, performing a horse collar, tripping, running into or roughing the kicker can now all be reviewed.
What about the passer? running into the pass.
They didn't say anything about the passer.
Hmm.
Nothing on the pass, unless a hit on a defenseless player constitutes the quarterback.
Oh, wasn't there one more too? Wasn't it defensive holding? Wasn't there some modification to that defensive holding?
Defensive holding. Oh, yeah. There
Had
was
to do with whether it was a first down or not.
right. The Lions went ahead and proposed to eliminate the automatic first downs on defensive holding and illegal contact.
Okay.
But under the current rules, illegal contact and defensive holding will result in a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down, which is pretty much what it's been, right?
That is what it's been, and that totally makes sense. Guy catches the ball, it's like you just can't hold him and keep him from catching the ball, and you know what I mean. It's just like, yeah, give a holding penalty. It's like you just can't do it. You blow it.
Correct. And then last but not least, leave it to the Pittsburgh Steelers to go ahead and get another rule passed. Did you see what rule they got passed?
I did not.
How about
I might recall
the proposals to allow teams to speak directly to free agents and schedule travel for those players during the negotiation windows,
rather than having to contact the team for permission to speak to, right?
Or through the agent.
Okay.
But you actually get to speed up through that legal tampering of that. Because what I'm wondering here is if this might be our answer really to the whole Justin Fields things, that Justin Fields may never ever have gotten to hear what Pittsburgh offered because it went directly to his agent. And his agent chose what he wanted to hear and didn't want to hear. To where now they at least had the opportunity to speak directly to that free agent.
That's an interesting twist. That kind of sounds like a Dan Rooney twist there, too.
It does. And I'm not saying that that's what happened, but something, look, Pittsburgh just don't throw stuff out nilly-willy. Something happened that sparked this up to make this thing reality. So, hey, that's it here from the Steelers realm, buddy. I got nothing else.
I got nothing else either, too. I thought we made a lot to do about not very much. So it is in the off-season of Steelers fan, huh? How about it, guys?
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. And all I want to say is good evening, Steelers Nation, and tune in next week. Same time, same bat channel.
Same bat time, same bat channel. Careful in the hot tub, Steeler Nation. See ya.
Check back next week into the Steelers realm.